and to...
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here today. It's wonderful to see such a large turnout and such great interest from the community. Before going on, I would like to recognise the original custodians of this land, the Bilu Nyunga people of this area. Before nominating for council, I corresponded with some councillors and met with the mayors of two adjacent councils to ask them about their work and their role as mayors and councillors. The first thing I was reminded of was the importance of councillors being non-partisan, impartial, having the ability to communicate well, and reach consensus for the benefit of all stakeholders and ratepayers, not just a suburb or a ward or a special interest group. A council should be like a jury, made up of people with open minds and without bias. This became one of my reasons for nominating, because I believe we need a council that is independent, yet willing and able to work with all parties and state and federal government, and I would like to be a part of that. I was also reminded that the role of mayor and council is not to run the city. Our role as a council is to listen to you, our ratepayers, interpret what people want, negotiate fair outcomes, and set policy. I'm pretty sure what everyone wants is better value for money and fiscal sustainability for Canning. Commissioner Cole has pointed out that we are living beyond our means, and we will have to work hard to change that. I care about delivering value and fiscal management, and I would love to tell you exactly what my plan would be. But the truth is that it is not until you are inside an organisation that you can really understand it. It is easy to point out that Canning appears to be spending over 114% of its rates on staff costs, while Gosnells and Armidale appear to be spending only 60% of their rates on staff costs. The employee-to-resident ratio at Armidale also appears to be better. But is this one of the key root causes of our financial problem? At this stage, I honestly can't tell you, but as mayor, I will find out what the problems are and work to resolve them carefully, sensitively, and surely. As a new council, we will have a lot to learn and a lot to think about. I believe my understanding of business and total quality management will help me do that and identify where real improvements will need to be made while avoiding sub-optimising the system or making services worse. Our streetscapes, green spaces and infill policies are another issue I care about. Canning overall was recently reported to have one of the lowest levels of tree canopy cover in Perth, making it up to 6 degrees hotter than leafy suburbs, also meaning that ratepayers use more air conditioning and have higher costs. I'm keen to change that by developing a policy to maintain our large trees, regenerate our land reserves and work with developers on a greener Canning. But before I run out of time, I would like to go back to another reason that motivated me to run for council. Here's the soundbite, and that is we were all told we would get free iPads. To me, this is symbolic of spending we should and can avoid. It is a small amount, but many small amounts add up to a lot. So one of the first things that I would do if elected, when elected, is to move that we all return the iPads and start asking ourselves how we can deliver better value to ratepayers. Finally, one more thing I learned from talking to other councillors and mayors was that most of their work was not big grand projects, although sometimes they were lucky enough to get one. Most of their work was making small, careful, incremental improvements in the working of council, and the overall long-term results of those many improvements was the measure of their success. Thank you again, and for being here, and for listening to me. I hope you share my opinions and will vote for me. You can contact me through my website, Nowtell.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards.